Oh, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with Just Fan TV, man. Back at you another video. Like the content of this video, go and smash that like button. Like the content of this channel, go and hit subscribe, man. Look, the Ravens absolutely whipped the Miami Dolphins 56-19 today, meaning the Ravens have clinched the number one seed in the AFC, which also means that the Ravens are now your AFC North champions for this season, man. So big time game, a wonderful game. Very, very happy and excited about it. Very, very enjoyable watch. The Ravens, once again, show up against another good team and absolutely dominate them. Okay, so let's talk about the injuries real quick for a second. So for this game, guys that were injured and came back. So Patrick Queen, Isaiah Likely, Arthur Millette, but guys that did not return. Marlon Humphrey with a calf injury, and then Michael Pierce and Daryl Worley both had a concussion. Like they ran into each other on one play and they were out. That was in I believe the third quarter. Okay, so that's the only bad thing that really happened today. But besides that, nothing but great things to talk about. Okay, so let's talk about the standout players from the game. I'm going to start on the defensive side of the ball. I want to say one, Arthur Millette, right? Arthur Millette did a really good job. When he matched up versus Tyreek Hill, he did a good job on him, okay? He's not going to fill up the stat sheet or anything like that, but I thought Arthur Millette was really solid today. He had 5 tackles, 1 TFL, 1 pass deflection. He was on Tyreek Hill pretty well today when they got matched up, okay? So I liked him. Another guy, Roquan Smith, 7 tackles, 1 interception, 2 pass deflections. Roquan Smith's interception at the 2-minute mark in the second quarter was a game-changing kind of play, right? The Dolphins could have gone down the field, tied the game up. Instead, the Ravens get the ball back to score a touchdown, okay? So that was a big-time game-changing play, all right? Offensively, all right, Justice Hill had probably the best game of his career today, okay? We're talking about 3 carries, 48 yards, 5 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown receiving, okay? Justice Hill was amazing today. Also had like an 80-yard kickoff return. He got down to like the 10, 15-yard line, all right? So Justice Hill was all over the field today. We had questions about, who would step up in the absence of Keaton Mitchell, right? Justice Hill started off this year really, really strongly. He had some fumble issues. He slowed down. Keaton Mitchell stepped up and emerged. Keaton Mitchell goes down with the injury. Justice Hill picks up like he never left, right? So shout out to Justice Hill for always staying ready and seizing the opportunity, okay? But we got to talk about the main man running the show, okay? Lamar Jackson just showed you why he is your NFL MVP for this season. 18-21, 321 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a perfect passer rating, 158.3, okay? Lamar Jackson was incredible from the first snap of the game because literally the first snap of the game was a dime to Rashad Bateman that Rashad Bateman couldn't come down with, okay? From that moment on, he was on fire. Like I said, 3 incompletions, 18 completions this game for 321 yards for Lamar Jackson today. This Ravens passing offense was explosive. They obviously thought that this Miami Dolphins secondary was a weak point because they attacked him down the field vertically like I haven't seen the Ravens do to a lot of teams this year. They came in with a game plan and said, we're going to go right at these guys. They love their matchups apparently because, like I said, they went right after them. All right, so the Ravens have been pretty good at throwing the ball down the field this year. But this year, this game, they made a real emphasis on it. From, like I said, from the very first drive, they're hitting 20-yard plays down the field plus. So I love what I saw on offense. I love what I saw from Lamar Jackson, right? And for everybody that got caught up in the numbers, right? What is he going to do, this or that? The people who are analytics people who got, EPA per play and things like that, right? It's not always in the numbers why Lamar Jackson is MVP, right? But this game, he gave you your numbers that you wanted so desperately, right? So we can't forget what he did on the ground as well. Had another 35 yards on the ground. So we're talking about 356 yards total offense for Lamar Jackson. And guess what? Gus Edwards also had another rushing touchdown on the ground that could have went to Lamar, right? But we're not playing for stats. We're playing for wins, okay? So Lamar Jackson, is he going to ever silence his critics? Probably not, right? Because, you had a woman talking about is Lamar Jackson, I like my quarterback to be more quarterbacky. Whatever that term means, she said that, okay, on air, on a radio station, okay? So when you're playing at this kind of level and you still have critics that say ridiculous off the wall things like that, whatever you do is just never going to be good enough, right? Lamar Jackson has to continue this and finish this mission, get a Super Bowl, and then maybe, just maybe, that will stop the critics, okay? But even if it doesn't matter because the people who watch Lamar Jackson and really know what's going on know that he is one of the best quarterbacks in this league. It's really, if you want to go the ranking system right now, there isn't a quarterback playing better right now than Lamar Jackson. Okay, so not your Patrick Mahomes, not your Josh Allen, not anybody like that. Lamar Jackson is playing like the best quarterback in the NFL, bar none. Okay, um, so the MVP has always been, not always been, the MVP of late has been a quarterback award. There's been a lot of talk and discourse about Lamar Jackson being that quarterback that's probably going to win it. Hopefully, these games versus the 49ers top defense and versus the Dolphins, who are a good defense as well, you know what I mean, show you the fact that Lamar Jackson is one of those guys, okay? He should win the MVP. He will win the MVP this year, okay? Now, just to talk about the defense as a whole, right? I want to talk about the defense, give them some love as well. I thought to start the game off, they were a little confused about the Dolphins' motion, right? I thought they gave the Ravens some issues. But once they locked into the fact that Tua is only going to throw this ball over the middle of the field, that's it, all right? I said in my pregame, my game preview, I said you want to disrupt the timing of this offense, right? When Tua has to go to his second read, third read, he becomes a different quarterback. When he can sit back, that excuse me. When he can drop back in the pocket, right? Hit that back step, boom, out to the first receiver, he's one of the best in the league, right? But when he has to hold the ball, double clutch it, because that first read is not there, he turns into a different player, okay? I'm not going to say Tua is a one-read quarterback because he has had a very, very impressive season. But when I saw this game he was throwing the ball over the middle of the field no matter what the coverage looked like, right? Tua was going 1, 2, 3, the ball was out. It doesn't matter who was there. And that's why Roquan Smith picked him off, right? He is literally staring down this receiver running this in-breaking route. Roquan is looking at him in the eyes. Tua doesn't even notice him. Roquan jumps the play. Okay, so that is a big-time play by Roquan Smith, right? This Ravens defense did a lot of good things, man. Justin Madubuike gets his 13th sack of the year. Okay, the Ravens made a bunch of big plays in this game, and I don't want to go without mentioning the defense because the offense was very, very impressive today. But the defense, the first two drives, it took them to get their footing. You know, they got lucky that Tyreek Hill dropped a touchdown. But it took them like the first 2, 3 drives to get their footing in this game. But once they got their footing in this game, they locked the Dolphins up. Okay, so I was very, very encouraged by the Ravens team in the second quarter because that's really when this game was over with, right? That Ravens team effort in the second quarter really ended this game, right? The defense got going with Roquan Smith, and the offense was on fire the entire game. Okay, so that was beautiful to see, right? Let's talk about some of the big plays that happened in this game. Zay Flowers, 75-yard catch today, okay, for a touchdown. Zay Flowers ends the day with 3 catches, 106 yards, and a touchdown. This is Zay Flowers' first career 100-yard game. Shout out to Zay Flowers. Also, Zay Flowers just broke the Ravens rookie record for receiving yards in the season, right? 840 yards plus this year for Zay Flowers. Okay, so that's big time, right? Still with a game to go. All right, he broke Torrey Smith's record. Okay, so Zay Flowers is the Ravens' best receiver, and he's been the Ravens' best rookie receiver that they had in their history. All right, so he has a chance to go down if he continues this level of play throughout his career as a Ravens legend, right? I'm not throwing it out there lightly. I'm being very, very serious with that. I love what I saw from Zay Flowers this entire season. He continues to make the kind of plays that you want to see. Isaiah Likely, all right. Isaiah Likely had 2 catches, 42 yards, and a touchdown. Or sorry, 2 touchdowns. It's 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. All right. So the one catch he made on 4th down at the end of the second quarter, one hand snag, just to keep in stride. First of all, crazy throw by Lamar, great catch by Isaiah Likely, and then the effort to get into the end zone. Right. He has done an admirable job of stepping in for Mark Andrews, and not even just, oh, I'm just filling the shoes in. He's making this spot his own, right? If Mark Andrews is to come back in the playoffs, the Ravens have to find a way to keep Isaiah Likely on the field as well. He's earned that right. He's a big-time playmaker, and he's doing exactly what I thought he was capable of doing, and I love to see it, okay? So I'm very, very happy for Isaiah Likely. He gets to make these kind of plays, all right? Another ridiculous Lamar Jackson throw. I mean, the big throw down the sideline to Odell Beckham, right? Odell Beckham That might have been his only catch today. Yeah, it was. So his only catch today. So one catch, 33 yards for Odell Beckham. But big time play down the sideline, right? To get both feet in bounds. Lamar Jackson is just throwing that ball while running. He has like kind of, torque his body to get that ball down the field. This is a beautiful play by Lamar Jackson and even a better catch by Odell Beckham. So this was a real complete team effort, right? I remember when I went to the Lions game, right? And the Ravens had that offensive explosion versus the Lions, right? This is that game, except it's more complete, right? The Lions game still had a little bit of laws in it where the offense wasn't really clicking like that. This game didn't have that. The Ravens wanted to keep scoring. They would have kept scoring. The Dolphins didn't have a shot in hell of stopping the Ravens this game. All right. So I love it, right? One of my keys to the game for I believe was I put it on the offense, but it was great for the entire team as a whole was the fact that they needed to close out the game because last year versus the Dolphins, we know what happened, right? 35-14, fourth quarter, they blow the game, lose it. This game, this year, 35-13, fourth quarter, the Dolphins get a touchdown, make it 35-19 after they failed a 2-point conversion. Guess what the Ravens do? They score three more touchdowns after that, make that final score 56-19. That's how you close out an opponent, okay? The Ravens they were big time this entire game, all right? So once they got locked in on defense and realized, man, Tua wants the middle of the field. This entire offense is designed for Tua to hit the middle of the field. Geno Stone gets the interception in the second half over because Tua throwing into pretty much triple coverage over the middle of the field, trying to hit Tyreek Hill, air mails it, and Geno Stone is right there for, I believe, what is his seventh interception of the year. All right. So all around great team effort. Now, I will say this, right? If there is one complaint from this game, I only say it's a complaint, but it's something that anybody can notice from watching this game. The Ravens did desperately miss Kyle Hamilton. Okay, you could see the impact on this team. I think he is the Ravens' most impactful starter. Right, that doesn't take away from Matabike or Roquan Smith or Marlon Humphrey or any of these kind of guys, but the loss of Kyle Hamilton was felt out there today. So hopefully he's okay. I don't expect to see Kyle Hamilton play again until the playoffs. I mean, the first round, Ravens got the first round bye. The division is clinched. There's no reason for him to play versus the Steelers in the last game of the regular season. There's no reason for him to play. So hopefully this time off gets Kyle Hamilton right and ready for the playoffs, okay? Because the Ravens do need him, all right? So, man, this game was a combination of showing that the Ravens are the team who we thought they were, and they've been that team, right? So when the Ravens went through this tough gauntlet of games, right? I want to go look at the schedule, right? That we were talking about was going to be the Ravens' toughest stretch of the season, and they passed that stretch with flying colors. Okay, so let me go to the Ravens schedule. One second. Okay, so let's talk about this gauntlet of games, starting with the Ravens playing the Seahawks on November 5th, right? They beat Seattle 37-3, excuse me. They lose a tough game to the Browns. They should have won 33-31. They beat the Bengals. I believe this was the Thursday night game, 34-20. Faced the Chargers 20-10. Faced the Rams 37-31. Walk-off Tylan Wallace play. Play the Jaguars 23-7. Play the 49ers 33-19. Play the Dolphins 56-19. Okay, so the Ravens through this stretch, this is a stretch of games where they're playing all teams with winning records. Man, don't forget the Bengals at this time. Obviously, Joe Burrow was healthy, right? He played the first half of that game, whatever you want to say, right? They lose to a Browns team who was rolling right now, even though it was a different team at that time. They had Deshaun Watson, but the Ravens are showing themselves to be one of the most impressive teams, honestly, in recent memory. This team is doing things that I feel is more impressive and more complete than even the team in 2019. Now, the difference is they want to have a different outcome than that team in 2019. They have to finish this season strong, right? So when it comes to playoff time, they have experience. Lamar Jackson is super locked in. He's been here before. He knows what it's like to be the number one seed and lose in your first game of the playoffs in the divisional round. I'm sure he doesn't want to feel that again, right? So the Ravens are super locked in, and I cannot wait to see this team in the playoffs. Obviously, the game next week versus the Steelers still has to happen, but I can't wait to see this team in the playoffs, man. So that's how I'm going to wrap it up here, man. The Ravens get a big-time win. Lamar Jackson wraps up his second MVP, or at least he should have wrapped it up with this game, honestly, right? With a 56-19 W over the Miami Dolphins, man. So give me your thoughts in the comments, man. Pod comments, man. Y'all have a great day. It's Gabriel, just another Fan TV. I'm out.